It elevates them, and ultimately, though, what Donald Trump is trying to do is he's trying to minimize them now. Meanwhile, our lead story yesterday was the fact that there has been a U.S. attorney for Connecticut by the name of John Durham. He has been asked actually by the Attorney General of the United States, Bill Barr, to look into the origins of the Russia investigation. Fox News has learned that apparently he has been working on the case for weeks. That's new. He's also working directly with the Department of Justice Inspector General Michael Horowitz. And that's really good news, because that means he's not starting from scratch. Horowitz is saying, hey, look what we've found so far. And Mr. Durham, who is pictured right there, can say, OK, well, let me go that way. Also, he's working with the intel chiefs. He's working with Chris Wray at the FBI, Gina Haspel at the CIA, and at the Director of National Intelligence, Dan Coates. They're all together trying to figure out if rules were broken.
Joe DeGenova, who is a former U.S. attorney, says this is extremely serious and some people could be locked up as a result. Listen.
Durham's appointment means that the already occurred meetings between the Attorney General, the CIA Director, and the Director of National Intelligence have now focused on a laser that the core of this conspiracy began with John Brennan and ends with John Brennan. This is very serious business, and for the first time, I now believe that some of these guys are going to go to prison.
And you could tell by how angry they seem to be getting. James Comey, with his emergency town hall, constantly is chirping in the background. You watch James Baker, who's the attorney, general counsel for the FBI. He is out there trying to get his story out. We saw the division between Comey and McCabe about their stories in the fall of 2016. They differ with each other. And now we're going to see perhaps the division between Comey and Brennan as it relates to the dossier and everything else leading up to the investigation on the Trump team. Here's John Brennan mocking the idea of a deep state.
I think they're trying to imply and to really, indicate that there was misuse of authorities. That was not the case. Does CIA spy? Yes. Do we spy against our foreign adversaries? Yes. Do we spy against domestic individuals? No, we do not. We work very closely with the FBI. If they look back at it in 2020, are they going to find that there was something that should have been said differently? Whatever they might. But I think that's what they're trying to do, is to uncover something that they will misrepresent as being part of this deep state effort to try to undermine Donald Trump's election.
Cheered.
They just started this investigation. He's already making excuses for what they're going to find out.
Right.
Let the investigation roll out. Maybe they won't find anything. Maybe he's right.
But maybe he knows they will.
Exactly.
But when he was talking about we do spy on foreign nations, it all comes down to this: the FISA warrants. Keep in mind when they wrote the FISA law back in the 70s, it was to surveil people in other countries. What the suggestion is they spied on American citizens without going through the proper channels. That is the last thing we want, and that's why we want to make sure that when they do surveil people in this country and abroad, it's done by the book, and according to a lot of people we've heard from, maybe that ain't the case.
Right, and just keep in mind, watch this. The new buzz term, it's dangerous for the Trump administration to be investigating the investigators. It's a danger to our country.
Yeah, Biden said that yesterday.
Everyone's saying it. Jeffrey Toobin said it yesterday on another channel.
Who's he?
He is a attorney that worked for CNN.
Here's the thing. It's sad that investigators have to investigate the investigators. How did we get to this point? Why don't we trust the DOJ? Why don't we trust the FBI?
All right.
Were there bad actors? We're going to find out soon enough.